Welcome back from the break, and this is The Expert on Precious Morning. If you just tune in, today on The Expert we're discussing breast cancer awareness. I learned that when you detect it very early, it is preventable. But what are some of the signs to know that you've been affected by such a disease? And I have with me a resource person from ReProCan, Mr. Asari Bediako Obed, to help us to address this issue. Mr. Obed, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And I can see you wearing a fantastic T-shirt, yes. ReProCan. So what are you all about?
Yeah, ReProCan is a reproductive cancer awareness team Ghana. We create awareness on cancers that affect the reproductive system. Okay. That is male and female. The male, we have the prostate cancer, which is causing a lot of death in the aged in Ghana now. And the ladies, we have the breast cancer, the cervical cancer, which is also taking most of our ladies out.
Great.
So ReProCan create awareness on those cancers, and we don't only do the awareness, we go to churches, schools and mosques to do screening for them.
Would allow you to dwell more on that when we're about to wrap up the show, yes. But we're looking at breast cancer, the awareness. What is breast cancer, if someone would ask?
Breast cancer is simply the cancers that affect the breast. You see, cancers get their names from where they affect. Okay. So if the cancer cells start in the breast, we call it breast cancer. If it starts in the cervix, we call it cervical cancer. So breast cancer is basically abnormal growth of cells in the breast. The cells are the normal cells that are inside the breast. So when they grow out of hand and you can't control the spread, then they invade other tissues near the breast and causes the cancer.
It is said that a malignant tumor, yes, develops in the breast. Is that the cause of it, or what causes it?
Yes. Breast cancer, the causes of breast cancer are not known as at now, but we have a lot of factors, we call them risk factors, that predisposes somebody of getting breast cancer. We have two tumors that can affect the breast. That is malignant, as you said, yes, yes, and benign. Yeah. Yes. So the cancer cells are the ones that we mostly talk about. The other cells, when they are not cancerous, you can just do surgery to take it out, and then you are gone.
Okay, so what is all this mammogram talking about?
The mammogram is an investigative way of seeing what is happening inside the breast. So we always recommend people to do the mammogram so that you can know whether your breast is becoming cancerous or not. So it's one of the investigative factors of breast cancer, determine breast cancer.
So since the signs are not known?
The signs are known, the causes are not known.
The causes are not known. So what are some of the signs?
Yes, we have risk factors. I'll talk about the risk factors. Okay. Risk factors are factors that can lead somebody into getting a disease. Okay. So when we talk about breast cancer, we say what we normally call causes of breast cancers are risk factors that bring about breast cancer.
What are these risk factors then?
The metallic bras that we've been using also put us in a high risk of getting breast cancer. And sometimes too, it's genetics. Sometimes you have a family history of breast cancer, so you can also get the breast cancer. Sometimes too, yes. So these are the factors, and then once you are a female, your risk of getting breast cancer is high. When we say you stand at a risk of getting breast cancer, it doesn't mean that you are having. People have a lot of risk, but they will never get breast cancer. People will not show any of the risk, but they can get the cancer. So what we normally educate it, you watch the signs that will determine that, okay, this signs, I have to walk to the hospital for checkup. That is when you see pain inside your breast. Not all pains are cancerous, but it gives you a clue that you have to go to the hospital for checkup. When you see that the colors on your breast is changing, like an orange color, orange peel color, then it gives you a clue that you have to come to the hospital to check. When you see there's a lump, you can feel the lump when you do the breast examination. We have self-breast examination, which we normally teach ladies how to do in their homes. And we have the clinical breast examination, that one, you come to the hospitals and we do it for you. So if you know how to do the self-breast examination, when you are doing it, and normally we teach you, you do it 1 week after your menses, so that at that time, all your hormones have resolved and then you can see any changes in your breast. When you do it and you feel a lump, then you have to come to the hospital for examination to see whether it is cancerous or just a lump inside your breast.
Talking about lump, you know we have the breastbone.
Yes.
How would you, because you want to do a self-examination to know that, okay, But sometimes we get it wrong, and when you're feeling the bone, you might think it is a lump in the breast.
Yes.
So then it means self-examination shouldn't be key
Yes.
to all women.
Yes.
So it means that whenever you're seeing any changes, you have to come,
to the hospital.
To the hospital.
For mammogram or clinical breast examination, for us to, or CT scan of the breast, for us to know whether even what you call a lump is cancerous or not. Because most times people, out of fear, when they see any lump inside their breast, they, oh, I have a cancer. And that scared them from even coming to the hospital. But not all the lumps in your breast are cancerous.
Okay.
Yes.
At least now we are getting safe, because I was getting scared.
No.
You said it. So does it affect only women?
No, but the percentages are high. About 99% of breast cancers are women, and 1% or less are men. So normally we hit more on the women to get. First, it was affecting the aged, 50, 60 years and above. By now, we have 25-year-old ladies also having breast cancer. That is why we need the education and awareness more, so that the young ladies will also know that breast cancer is not for the aged, our grandmothers and our mothers, but we, as young as we are, we also need to do the examinations and then know the signs and symptoms more, so that when we notice any sign, we can walk to the hospital for screening.
But these men, even if it's 1%, they don't put on the bras that we do put on.
Yeah, that is what I was saying. A lot of factors cause breast cancer, even genetics. If maybe a family history of cancer, yes, can also predispose you to getting cancer. Let's say I am a man, my mom had breast cancer, so maybe, or my auntie, it means that it is in my gene. So we call it hereditary. You inherited it from your makeup, so you can get. So it's not only the metallic brows that you can get. Even if you're a young lady and you get your menses early, you stand at a risk of getting breast cancer. And I am making
early at what stage?
Early, like
then?
12. People start the menstruation at the age of 12, 15 years. So
even some others, I heard of a lady who was 11 years.
Yes. So your risk of getting cancer is higher than the one who started later than that. And the old ladies who start their menopause late in the age, they also have a higher risk than those who started earlier menopause. So a lot of, and even those who give birth after 30 years, your chances of getting, when you read the researches made on breast cancers, you see that ladies who gave birth after 30 years, their chances of getting breast cancer are higher than those.
You are really scaring us this morning.
You see,
because then it means if you are 35, 40, and you've not given birth, you should be going for checkup.
Exactly. And I'm very careful, because when you talk about risk factors, people think that when I am into the risk, it means I'm getting cancer. But it is not so. Okay. There are people who didn't have any of the risk, but they came to the hospital with signs of breast cancer. So breast cancer, that is why we want people to go for the screening more, because you cannot have the risk, but you may have the breast cancer. Because it is cells. As you eat, you don't do exercise, then the cells can grow abnormal. So breast cancer is open to all, especially when you are a lady.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then it means that for a woman, you know, most of her bras has metal in there. So are you advising that we take it off?
Possible. There are some of the bras which don't have the metals. And most times when you're in the house,
it's just a few of them on the market.
So maybe if you're going for programs, you can use that. But when you're in the home, you lose yourself, so that your breast can feel a little free than packing it to that extent. That
everyone is scared that when you don't put it on, then it means that you are just flattening it. Because sometimes people even don't want to remove it. They sleep with it. Is it advisable?
It's very bad. Because trying to impress people, you are causing yourself other conditions that when you get, your life will shorten, or if God, you don't see it early, then you are losing your life. So to impress somebody for holding your breast tight and later resulting in cancer for you, I think the decision is yours. Yes.
If you just joined us, we're talking to Mr. Saribediakon Obed, and we're discussing breast cancer. We want our women to stay alive for us, because they have to take care of our children till they get to the age. But some people are saying that breastfeeding mothers who do not feed their babies for, let's say, 6 1 year, 2 years, when the breast milk doesn't all come out,
yes,
it causes breast cancer. How true is that?
Most times it causes more pains. And as I said earlier, not all the pain in the breast are cancerous. But it's advisable, even for the health of your baby, to do that 6 months when you are breastfeeding, so that at least the baby, it will benefit the baby and you too. It will help you empty the milk inside your breast.
So what happens if you are you're always busy, so you can't go according to,
you can express it in a bottle.
Okay.
Leave it to work so that people will feed your baby with it. It's not always giving the breast, but expressing it in bottles. We do it even in the hospitals. They put it in containers that they use to feed their children.
So what happens if you don't do that?
It will cause you a little pain, and the pain, not really the pain are cancerous, as I said.
Okay.
So you see, breast cancer awareness has been so scary that people, when they think it's a breast case, they even don't want to go to the hospital because they know whether they go or not, they are dying.
Yes.
But the good news is that most breast cancer cases that were seen early, they are survived. We had a 50-year-old patient. He lived with breast cancer for about 25 years, and she's still surviving because she saw it early, came to the hospital, and then she got treatment. So always the fear of not going to the hospital because every pain I feel is cancer, so I will stay home and resort in herbal treatment, is what is increasing our death rate in breast cancer. So we recommend that ladies, when you feel anything, breast cancer is not a death sentence. Come to the hospital, let's see it early, and we'll treat you for you to go home and enjoy your life.
Do you have a psychologist who take them through some training to just psych their mind before the test is given? Because someone may opt to come to the hospital, but immediately the person gets, the person is even scared of the result that is going to come. Yes. So do you have psychologists to talk to that person before that examination?
Yes, when you come to the hospital first, as I said, not all signs that shows that you're having the breast cancer. So after the investigation, the mammogram or the CT scan, and when we determine that, okay, it's breast cancer, then we link you to the other healthcare team who will psych your mind, encourage you before either the surgery or the chemo treatment is done. And in Ghana, we don't have those support groups, so people resort in their friends and then herbal treatment, and so because they get bad cancer. We had a 25-year-old girl at Akosomo. She saw it early, but went to this herbal distance for treatment, and then later it got worse before she came to the hospital. It was unfortunate we lost her because the stage that she came to the hospital was very advanced and there were little to do about it. So please, there are a lot of cancer NGOs, the ReProCan. When you call, we give you advice. We have a Breasted One Foundation. They are also into breast cancer. A lot of breast cancer NGOs, Treasure Motherhood Foundation, they all give support to patients who are having breast cancer. So you call on us, and then we counsel you. We link you to psychologists who will advise you more.
So do you have any symptoms? I know there are no causes, but
yes,
risk
a lot
factors.
Of symptoms.
Can you share with us?
Yes.
The
sometimes at advanced you see blood discharge from the nipple. Then that one it's getting advanced. Yes, but mostly the pain. And then what the sign you should note more is the lump. When you learn how to do the self-breast examination, at your own time, you see that apart from the usual lump in your breast, that is one. Each breast, you feel that one when you do the self-examination. But you see other lumps, it can be soft, it can be hard. Then you see the shape of the lump, then you report to the hospital. Or maybe the color, as I said, the color,
it changes.
Yeah, it changes to orange-like color, the peel of the orange.
So then you see that on your breast?
Yes, you see it on your breast. Then you see that your nipple has inverted, it's retract. Some of them, it's retract. You see, when you know your usual shape, your breast, and a little change come, you know that, okay, this is not my normal way, so I have to go to the hospital. If you see that your skin, when you raise your arms and you see that there are lumps inside your armpits, then it gives you a clue that, okay, I have to go to the hospital for checkup. It's only the checkup that can determine whether it is cancer or any other condition.
Right. So what about people who have, some people, we know we have two breasts,
yes,
but there are some people naturally their breast is always inside.
The nipple.
The nipple is always inside, and some people say that if it's inside, it means that you are having a breast cancer or something, because you always have to shoot up. And then sometimes there's this small fluid that comes out.
Yes, the fluid.
Some people, I mean, it's natural with them.
It's natural, but you need to come to the hospital for investigation. You see, as we were saying, some of them you don't even see any sign or symptom, but you have to come to the hospital for. We recommend that at the age 20 to 30, at least once a year or one every 2 years, you come to the hospital for clinical examination to determine whether you're safe or not. And above 40 years, you can do mammogram every year to determine. Sometimes you don't see the signs. Some of them, everybody and the breast, it's different. So you know yourself well. And that is why there's a need for you to come to the hospital for investigation to then you know that, okay, I am free, my nipple is inside, but that is the normal makeup of myself, then you can go. Otherwise, you'll be thinking psychologically, you even die before the cancer.
Yes, because I went for examination and I had a lot of ladies in there. So this was coming from one of my colleagues and it was very disturbed about it. But like you mentioned, it doesn't mean that she was affecting from that menace. But the mammogram is very expensive.
Yes.
Not very, but it's expensive
to some classes of people.
So how do you afford it? I mean, how can one afford? Because if you have to check it maybe every 2 years, and looking at the costs.
It's not only the mammogram that we use to investigate breast cancer.
Okay,
you can do the CT scan of the breast.
Okay.
You can do the clinical examination. Then if the clinician expects anything, then he writes other investigation for you. We have a lot of investigations that you can do. So
maybe just give us a few.
Yes, as I said, the CT scan. Yes, CT scan of the breast. MRI is at the extreme stage.
What is the CT scan? Just for the sake of our viewers.
Yes, it's computer. We use it to watch your breast, so that you can see what is happening inside your breast. It is done in every hospital. When you come, they write it for you.
That one is not too expensive.
It's not too expensive. The clinical examination is not even expensive. It's like the breast examination.
Is it free in most of the hospitals, or they charge?
They charge.
Oh, for the self-examination.
Yes. But like NGOs like this, we come to outrages and we do the screenings for free. But when you come to the hospital, you have to pay. Now, health insurance is not covering most cancer treatment. We met the Deputy Minister of Health, and they are now trying to bring cancer treatment on the National Health Insurance. But until that, you have to pay for most of the investigations that you come and do in the hospitals. So you take advantage of the NGOs that come to the communities to do the screening, because the screening, it is free when we come to your communities. But when you come to the hospital, you follow the hospital protocols, and then you have to afford.
Talking about getting the communities involved in about education, now you hardly hear of it. It used to, I mean, you used to hear it. We used to hear it a lot, but now it's gone down. What is happening? Is it that you're not getting funds to mobilize the personnel to go around and then get the communities involved in the education?
Exactly. Awareness, you see, awareness is key in controlling any condition. And the NGOs that are championing awareness, they fund everything by themselves. So when their budgets get expanded, then they have to withdraw a little and go. And sometimes we think, especially the youth, think that they are far from getting cancer. So why do they need to listen to a breast cancer education and awareness? But now, as I said, 25-year-old people are getting breast cancer. So the NGOs, we are now coming out again to increase the awareness. 14th of October, that is a World Breast Cancer Day. We'll be doing breast cancer screening. We are targeting the youth more. And it's 3 NGOs that will be collaborating to do that one. So when it comes to, maybe we come to your station to also create awareness on that. But the date is 14th of October.
14th of October 2017. That is the World Breast Cancer Day.
The October is the breast cancer month. But we are picking the 14th to do a very big screening, targeting the youth more.
Which area would that be?
We are proposing Jolu, the park here. Yeah, that is where we want to. But we are considering Jolu Park and then Kasapa Park at Adabraka. So any of the venue, when we are settled, we bring the actual venue out. But it will be very massive, and it is free.
Okay. So do you get other organizations supporting this campaign?
Yes, we have individuals, but not corporates. Yes, we have individuals who who understand the awareness, because some of them have experienced cancer one way or the other, whether they are relatives or those. So when you go to them, they open their doors for you. And the media to ask you are doing for us is because a lot of people are watching us, and at least somebody who have never heard about breast cancer will know that not all lumps in the breast are cancerous.
Sure.
So at least that one will even relax the mind more for him to know that, okay, I have a lump, I have to go. So yes, individuals are helping, but the corporates, we wish they can take up and then support the NGOs which are championing this one more.
Some time back, there was speculations on WhatsApp saying that if you are young and your breast is not being sucked often, you get cancer. How true is that? You saw it.
Yes, I read it. Some people are saying the more if
the
you
breast
allow
the
breast is sagged, then you
so
reduce your risk.
Some people were taking advantage of that. How true is that?
There's a little true, because sucking, the person get a chance to hold their breast. So it's the examination as we are talking about. It is not the person emptying the breast. That is what is prevent, and it doesn't prevent. It helps you to note if there's a lump. So it's like you yourself.
But how would that person know that it's a lump?
It depends. So, fine. If maybe when he's holding it and then he feel that, oh, there's something here, then you draw your attention to it. It's a way of you knowing that, okay, there's a lump that you yourself didn't notice.
But this one goes to married couples, not single men and single women. So I think the husbands can help their wives to do self-examination when they're realizing some changes in there, so that they can tell them to go to, but not for single ladies and single men. Please, we need you to go to the hospitals that are women and get tested. Don't allow your boyfriends to be doing that, because it's against the word of God. I mean, God doesn't want us to do that.
But about 40% of breast cancer lumps that people came to the hospital with, they discovered it not by self-breast examination, but when the married people were doing their thing, then they fell. So that is why people are championing that when you do that, it helps you prevent breast cancer, but it will help you to notice if there are lumps, and then you walk to the hospital. So please don't deny your husbands the chance to hold it. Yeah.
Right. So in your own capacity, what are some of the things that you've done so far to create the awareness of breast cancer in our community? Yes.
We Reproductive Cancer Awareness Team Ghana have done a lot. We were at Denu in the Volta region for 3 days screening, not only breast cancer. What we do BP, diabetes check, but our main thing is reproductive cancers check. So we went to Denu with a partnership with Myself Foundation and the Assemblyman of Denu. We were able to screen about 240 females for breast cancer, and we got a suspected case about 30. So we've referred them to the hospital. The Director of Health Services, Denu, was there, and then AUCC Akada Braka. We've organized screening for them a lot. Achimota too. We've done a lot of. When you go to our hospital, you see a lot of programs that we've done. Last week Sunday we were at a Methodist Church, Amasamai, and we did screening for the Methodist Women Fellowship, not only for Asamai Church, but the whole Diocese of Greater Accra.
Great, good job there. Yes. But your final words, tell us how to prevent breast cancer. What are some of the things that we need to do so that we don't get to that point? Okay,
so my final word will be early detection. It helps us to say, I recommend that as young as we are, we learn how to do the self-breast examination. If time will permit, I will demonstrate how the self-breast examination is done. And then you walk to the hospital to also do the examination, the clinical breast examination. And please, don't resort to add alternative treatment when you suspect anything in your breast. Walk to the hospital so that at least you get a first-hand information about it, whether it's cancerous or not. Because what we've noticed is that people go to the other alternative. I don't want to mention herbal treatment, but they go there, and then at the end of the day, when it becomes worse, at the latter stage, that is where they come to the hospital for treatment. So I would advise all young ladies, take time every month after your menses, 5 days, you stand in front of your mirror and then you do your self-breast examination so that if there are any lump, you can notice and then report to the hospital.
Right, well, sir, thank you so much for coming. God richly bless you.
Amen.
Mr. Asari Bediako Obed, and Thanks for the good job you're doing. Continue to do the good work.
I'll use this opportunity to wish PCI happy birthday.
Sure.
We pray that God will increase you in all that you do.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks for staying tuned with us. I believe that the breast cancer awareness, I mean, we've talked more on that, and from now on, our ladies will be safe. Married couples, the husbands will always help you to check whether there are lumps in your breast, and I believe that you have picked so many things that we've discussed here. Stay with us because we have lots on Precious TV. Thanks for watching once again.